My stepmom's revenge left me as her perfect daughter. I never liked her. From the moment she walked into our lives, I knew she wasn't here to play the role of the sweet, caring stepmother. Vanessa was cunning, elegant, and had a way of making my dad fall for her charms without even realizing it. She was younger than my father by nearly 20 years, a woman who dripped with sophistication and control. I was just a normal 18-year-old guy trying to get through my last year of high school. My mom had passed away 3 years ago, and my dad wasted no time in finding someone new. Vanessa, with her flawless skin, piercing blue eyes, and perfectly styled hair, looked more like a movie star than a mother figure. But her beauty masked something far more sinister, a hunger for power. And the moment she moved in, she made it very clear who was in charge. Vanessa changed everything. My dad, once my biggest supporter, became blind to how she treated me. She didn't scream or punish me outright. She was too clever for that. Instead, she made my life a series of small, calculated humiliations. New house rules. No more boyish mess in the house. Everything had to be spotless. No loud music, no video games late at night. No arguing back. Ever. And worst of all, she took my privacy. She would walk into my room unannounced, rearrange my things, and even throw out clothes she deemed too sloppy. When I complained, she'd just smile sweetly and say, "A proper young man should know how to present himself with class." It wasn't just annoying, it was suffocating. But my father, he didn't see it. He was too in love, too hypnotized by Vanessa's soft-spoken manipulations to care about my protests. And so, I did what any normal teenager would do. I tried to avoid her at all costs. But avoidance wasn't enough, because Vanessa had a way of getting under my skin, of making me feel powerless. And when you feel powerless, you look for ways to take back control, even in the smallest, strangest ways. I don't know when it started, exactly. Maybe it was curiosity, or maybe it was some subconscious form of rebellion. But one day, when Vanessa was out, I found myself in her massive walk-in closet, and I saw the dresses. Silk, lace, velvet, expensive materials I had only ever seen in movies. It wasn't just the clothes, though. It was the idea of stepping into a different skin, a different identity, an identity where Vanessa's rules didn't define me. At first, it was just one time. I slipped on a dress, just to feel it, just to see what it was like. And the feeling was indescribable. The fabric, the way it hugged my body, it was something entirely different from my usual jeans and t-shirts. And the adrenaline of it, the danger, it felt like taking back a little piece of the control Vanessa had stolen from me. So I did it again, and again, always when she wasn't home, always careful. But I should have known. Nothing got past Vanessa. It was a Friday evening when my world shattered. I had the house to myself. Vanessa had gone out for one of her mysterious social events, and my father was working late. I had hours of freedom. I wasn't planning to dress up that night. I really wasn't. But the temptation was too strong. I went to Vanessa's closet, my fingers trailing over the luxurious fabrics. This time, I went further, putting on one of her silky black dresses, slipping into a pair of heels that were just a little too big, and even experimenting with some of her makeup. I looked at myself in the mirror, heart pounding. For the first time in a long time, I felt in control. And then, the door creaked open. I froze, and in the mirror I saw her, Vanessa, standing in the doorway, smiling. She had caught me, and from that moment on, my life was no longer my own. I couldn't breathe. The room was silent, except for the soft ticking of the antique clock on Vanessa's vanity. The warm glow of the chandelier above cast eerie shadows on the walls, making everything feel unreal, like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. Vanessa's gaze locked onto me, her piercing blue eyes studying me like a predator sizing up its prey. I was still frozen in place, standing in the middle of her walk-in closet, wearing her black silk dress, her high heels, her makeup. My heart pounded, so hard it felt like it would break through my ribs. I opened my mouth to stammer out an excuse, but Vanessa beat me to it. Well, she purred, stepping further into the room, her stiletto heels clicking against the polished wood floor. I never imagined you had such exquisite taste. I felt sick. My legs wobbled in the unfamiliar heels, my breath coming in short gasps. I can explain, I croaked, tearing off the wig I had put on, as if that would make things better. Vanessa tilted her head, a slow, calculating smile spreading across her face. "Oh, sweetheart," she murmured, closing the door behind her with a soft click, sealing my fate. "No need to be embarrassed. In fact, I think we should talk." My stomach dropped. This wasn't just her catching me in some humiliating act. She wasn't angry. She wasn't disgusted. She was amused. And that was far, far worse. I yanked at the dress, my hands shaking as I tried to pull it over my head. "Please, Vanessa, just forget about this," I begged, desperate to make this moment disappear. But she only chuckled, stepping closer, her presence suffocating. "Forget about this," she echoed, her voice dripping with mock sympathy. "Oh no, darling, I don't think I could ever forget what I just saw." I flinched as she reached out, her manicured fingers lightly tracing my cheek, smudging the makeup I had so carefully applied. "You really went all out," she mused, stepping back and giving me a slow once-over. "The makeup, the dress, the heels. You're not just playing dress-up, are you?" I felt my face burn with humiliation. She was right. I wasn't just experimenting. This had been a part of me for a while now. But admitting that to her? Impossible. "Vanessa, please," I whispered. "Just let me go." She folded her arms, tapping a finger against her chin as if considering something. Then, suddenly, she smirked. "I have a better idea," she said smoothly. I swallowed hard. What? Her eyes gleamed with something dark and unreadable. "I won't tell your father," she said, her voice like honey. "In fact, I'll keep this little secret just between us." My entire body tensed. "What do you mean?" She stepped even closer, lowering her voice. "I mean, I think it would be such a shame to waste your talents," she said. "Clearly, you have an eye for beauty. And since you already like dressing up so much, why don't we make it official?" A chill ran down my spine. "Official?" My throat tightened. "No," I blurted out, shaking my head. "No way. This was a mistake. I'll never do it again, I swear." Vanessa just laughed, shaking her head. "Oh, sweetheart," she whispered, leaning in so close I could feel her breath against my cheek. "This isn't a request." I had no way out. I don't know how long I stood there, trapped in Vanessa's twisted web. But when I woke up the next morning, everything had changed. I knew something was wrong before I even opened my eyes. The sheets felt different. Softer. Smoother. I shifted under them, and that's when I realized my clothes were gone. Panic flared in my chest. I sat up too fast, the sudden movement making my head spin. And then I saw it. My entire room had been transformed. Gone were my posters, my video game setup, my clothes. Instead, the walls were painted a delicate pastel pink, decorated with floral art. My sleek, modern furniture had been replaced with ornate white and gold vanity tables, plush bedding, and soft lighting. My heart pounded. I threw off the covers, and that's when I saw what I was wearing. A silky pink nightgown. Vanessa's voice pierced the silence. "Oh, good, you're awake," she said, stepping into the room with a satisfied smile. She was carrying a stack of neatly folded dresses in her arms. I stared at her. My chest felt tight. What did you do?" She set the clothes down on the vanity and crossed her arms. "I simply gave you what you wanted," she said. "A fresh start. A new identity. No more pretending, sweetheart. From now on, you'll be the daughter I never had." My blood ran cold. Daughter? No. No. No, no. I jumped out of bed, stumbling slightly in the unfamiliar nightgown. "You're insane," I shouted. "I'm not your daughter. I'm not doing this." Vanessa just sighed, shaking her head as if I were a misbehaving child. "Sweetheart," she said, stepping closer. "Do you really think you have a choice?" She reached into her pocket and pulled out her phone. And that's when I saw it. A video of me, dressed up in her clothes, smiling at myself in the mirror. I felt the world tilt beneath me. "I took the liberty of recording our little discovery last night," she said, her voice soft but laced with steel. "And I'm sure your father, your friends, your entire school would be very interested to see it." My stomach dropped. Blackmail. She had planned this. "I own you now," she whispered, her smile widening. "And trust me, I'm going to make you the most perfect little girl the world has ever seen. I wanted to scream. I wanted to fight. But I couldn't. Because she was right. I had nowhere to run. And my old life was over. I couldn't stop staring at the video. The screen glowed mockingly, playing my humiliation on repeat. My breath came in shallow gasps. My hands clenched into trembling fists. Vanessa was blackmailing me. She had planned this. She had trapped me. And now, she was turning me into someone else. Someone I never wanted to be. But what choice did I have? If she sent that video to my father, he would never look at me the same way again. My friends would laugh behind my back. The entire school would know. I would be ruined. So when Vanessa smiled sweetly and said, "Get dressed, sweetheart. We have a lot to do today," I knew. I was already defeated. I stood frozen in front of the massive wardrobe, filled to the brim with delicate blouses, flowing skirts, and floral dresses. Vanessa sat on the edge of the bed, watching me with amusement. "Go on, darling. Pick something out," she encouraged, her voice mocking. I hesitated. My hands hovered over the endless fabrics, all so soft and feminine. Every fiber of my being screamed to refuse, to fight. But then I heard the faint ding of her phone, and I knew she was holding the video over me like a guillotine. So, with shaking hands, I reached for a dress. It was a simple one, a white sundress with thin straps and a delicate lace trim. "Good choice," Vanessa praised, standing up. "Now, let's get you ready." I swallowed hard as she led me to the vanity. The mirror reflected someone I didn't recognize. Vanessa's manicured hands worked effortlessly, dusting my cheeks with blush, painting my lips a soft pink. I clenched my fists in my lap, humiliation burning my skin. "This isn't happening," I whispered under my breath. But the reflection told me otherwise. It was real. It was happening. And I had no way out. The horror in my chest tripled when Vanessa handed me a small white purse and said, "We're going out." I froze. "Oh, out." She smirked. "Of course, darling. A lady needs to be seen." Panic clawed at my throat. "No," I choked out. "Vanessa, please." Her expression turned dangerous. "Do you really want me to press send on that video?" My breath hitched. I couldn't refuse. So, dressed in a white sundress, heels clicking against the pavement, I followed Vanessa out of the house, into the world. Completely disguised as a girl. Every step felt like a death sentence. I could feel people's eyes on me, or at least, I imagined them staring. Did they know? Could they tell I wasn't a real girl? My hands clenched around the strap of my purse, my heart pounding. Vanessa strolled beside me, completely at ease. "Relax, sweetheart," she purred. "You're doing just fine." I swallowed the rising nausea. Then suddenly, "Vanessa!" I froze. The voice was familiar. Too familiar. I turned my head slowly and felt my entire world collapse. It was Emma, my girlfriend. She was standing just a few feet away, eyes narrowing in confusion. "What are you doing here?" she asked Vanessa, then glanced at me. My stomach twisted. Did she recognize me? I looked down, heart racing, praying my voice wouldn't betray me. Vanessa, ever the actress, smiled smoothly. "Oh, just taking my darling niece shopping." Emma's brows furrowed. "Your niece." Vanessa nudged me, her sharp nails digging into my back. I knew what she wanted. I had to play along. I forced my voice into something soft, delicate. "Hi," I mumbled. Emma studied me, and for a horrifying moment, I thought she would see through the disguise. But then she just smiled. "That's cool. I didn't know you had a niece," she said, looking back at Vanessa. Vanessa smirked. "She's staying with me for a while." I held my breath. Emma nodded. "Well, I won't keep you. See you later." She turned and walked away. I nearly collapsed. Vanessa, on the other hand, was beaming. "Oh, darling," she whispered. "That was just delicious." I felt sick. This wasn't just a game to her. This was entertainment. And I was trapped in it. That night, back at home, I sat on the edge of my new bed, staring at my manicured hands. Vanessa stepped into the room, looking smug. "You did so well today, sweetheart." I didn't respond. She sighed. "Oh, don't pout. You're becoming such a lovely young lady." My stomach twisted. She crossed the room, kneeling beside me. "Here's the thing, darling," she whispered. "You think this is temporary. You think if you behave, I'll let you go back to your old life. I stiffened. She smiled, leaning closer. But that's never going to happen. My throat went dry. What? She ran her fingers through my long, styled hair. You don't understand, sweetheart, she murmured. I don't just want to humiliate you. She tilted my chin up, forcing me to meet her gaze. I want to break you. I couldn't breathe. I want to mold you into my perfect little daughter, she continued, her voice silk and poison. I want you to forget what it felt like to be him. I want you to look in the mirror and see nothing but my creation. Tears burned at my eyes. You can't, she chuckled. I already have. I shook my head. My father. Oh, sweetheart, she whispered. Do you really think he'd believe you now? I froze. She was right. If I ran to my father now, if I told him what was happening, what would he see? A scared boy? Or a perfectly polished girl, rambling nonsense? My chest tightened. There was no way out. Not anymore. Vanessa kissed my forehead, whispering sweetly, "Good night, darling." Then she turned off the lights and left me alone in the darkness. Tears spilled down my cheeks. I had lost. She had won. And the worst part, I didn't even know who I was anymore. I sat in front of the vanity, my reflection staring back at me. The girl in the mirror looked perfect. Flawless makeup, delicate curls framing her face, soft pink lips slightly parted in silent shock. But inside, I was screaming. Vanessa had broken me. She had rewritten my identity, piece by piece, dressing me, training me, and stripping away every last trace of the boy I used to be. And now, after weeks of this nightmare, I was beginning to wonder, was there even a way back? Or worse, did I even recognize myself anymore? The bedroom door creaked open and I stiffened. Vanessa stepped inside, holding a velvet box. She smiled as she placed it on the vanity. "A little gift for my beautiful daughter," she purred. My stomach churned. I knew better than to refuse. With trembling hands, I lifted the lid. Inside was a delicate gold necklace. A heart-shaped pendant dangled from the chain, glinting under the soft light. I swallowed hard. What is this?" Vanessa leaned down, her breath warm against my ear. "It's proof, darling." I shuddered. Proof of what? Her fingers ghosted over my shoulders, her nails tracing my bare skin. "That you belong to me now." A collar. That's what it was. A beautiful, golden collar disguised as jewelry. And the worst part, I knew she would make me wear it. Forever. I was spiraling. Days passed, and with each one, my identity faded. Vanessa pushed me further and further into this new life. Shopping trips, beauty treatments, even forcing me to attend events as her daughter. And every time I hesitated, she reminded me of the video. I had no escape, until one night, when I overheard something that shattered me. I was walking past the study when I heard Vanessa's voice, low and amused. "Oh, don't worry. He's completely broken now. He doesn't even fight me anymore." My blood ran cold. She was talking to someone. I pressed my back against the wall, heart racing. A man chuckled on the other end. "So the little prince is finally your princess?" Vanessa laughed. "Not just a princess, darling. A perfect daughter." I covered my mouth, fighting the urge to scream. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. She had planned this all along. She never wanted to let me go. She wanted to erase me. And if I didn't do something soon, she would succeed. That night, I made my decision. I waited until the house was silent, until Vanessa had gone to bed. Then I grabbed the small duffel bag I had hidden beneath my bed. I couldn't pack much. Just one change of clothes, some money I had stashed away, and my old phone. My hands shook violently as I pulled off the dress Vanessa had made me wear that day, replacing it with the last pair of boys' clothes I owned, a hoodie and jeans. They felt foreign against my skin, like they didn't belong to me anymore. Because maybe they didn't. I ignored the fear clawing at my chest. I had no choice. I had to run. I cracked open my bedroom door, listening for any sounds. Nothing. Step by step, I crept down the hallway, my breath shallow. My heart was pounding. I reached the staircase, every nerve in my body on high alert. One step, then another. I was almost there, almost free. Then, a floorboard creaked. I froze. A second later, the hallway light flooded the darkness. I turned. And Vanessa was standing there, watching me, smiling. "Oh, sweetheart," she murmured. "Going somewhere?" My entire body locked up in terror. She knew. She knew. I bolted. Racing down the stairs, I reached for the front door. But before my fingers could even touch the handle, something snapped tight around my wrist. I gasped. Vanessa's grip was like iron. I whirled around, struggling, but she was stronger than I expected. Her expression was calm, too calm. Now, she chided, her nails digging into my skin. "That's no way for a young lady to behave." I thrashed. "Let me go." She sighed, dragging me back. "You really thought you could run," she murmured. "Oh, darling." She let out a soft, amused laugh. "You have no idea what I have planned for you." And then, darkness. I woke up somewhere different. My head was pounding, my limbs heavy. I tried to move, but something was holding me down. No, not something. Silk. I was in a pink, silk-covered bed. I sat up too fast, my breath hitching. The room was completely different. Gone were the familiar walls of my old bedroom. Instead, I was in a lavish, princess-style suite. The air smelled like perfume and fresh flowers. I turned, my pulse thundering. And there, sitting by the vanity, was Vanessa. She smiled at me, holding up a brand-new dress. "Good morning, my darling," she purred. "I have something special for you today." Tears filled my eyes. I wasn't just trapped. I was reborn. And I didn't know if I would ever be able to escape again.